Alright. Welcome back to Paranormasight. I'm going to look at the detective storyline. See how this goes. Because I already did a little bit of Harué, so let's do something a little bit different. Tetsuo Tatsumi, Chief Inspector of the Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division, is investigating the mysterious death of a fellow officer. He visits the scene of the incident, the former Yasuda Gardens, with his subordinate Jun Erio. 11 p.m. Hey boss, forensics is all done. The crime scene is clean. The other officers have all gone home. It's just us now. The park should be able to open back up tomorrow like nothing ever happened. Okay. I doubt it'll get many visitors after everything that's happened. You'd be surprised. Lots of people love that kind of thing. I bet they'll be lining up to get in. Occult stuff is really popular right now. Did you not know that, boss? Sounds stupid. Well, it's not exactly rooted in science, but if ghosts really did exist, we could just ask them who the perp is. Okay, buddy. Somehow I doubt it'd be that simple. Oh, but you know, I've heard that high school girls are really into this spirit board thing these days. Supposedly you can call on spirits and talk to them by using a board with letters on it. Wouldn't that be something? You can try it out yourself if you're so interested. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's give it a go sometimes, boss. What now? Stop messing around. I think he's scared. He's saying I don't believe in it. But he actually scared us. And that's fair. True. So stop messing around. You really think we're gonna solve this case by moving a coin across a scrap of paper? Sounds like you know all about it. What if that's how police work is gonna be from now on? Don't make me laugh. I got the spirit board. Okay. All one needs is a coin and a piece of paper with letters and numbers written on it. Using these, all one has to do is ask a question of the called upon spirit, and it will move the coin in answer. It is believed to be a tool that was adopted from Western spiritualism and molded by Japanese occult enthusiasts. Though it is considered a form of divination, the ritualistic nature of its usage can cause self-hypnosis or autosuggestion, leading to hallucinations or symptoms similar to spirit possession. Many schools banned these spirit boards after there were several cases of students sneaking into schools at night, in addition to stories of people having seizures when using the boards. It's like that Charlie summoning thingy with the pencil and you spin it around or whatever. Funny. Listen up, Erio. You can't go blaming the death of your buddy on something like the occult. I don't care if it was ghosts or the occult or what. Whoever or whatever it was that did this. I'll get them. I promise you that. Well, you've got the right attitude, but we don't even know if this is a murder yet. Biases weaken our judgment. Get too fixated on one thing and you stop seeing everything else. Aye aye, boss. So, now that we've finished investigating the scene, let's review what we know. Now? It's getting late. I figured we'd head straight home from here. Come on, we've got to go over all the info we've gathered. And what better place to do that than here at the scene of the crime, where we can soak up the atmosphere? Soak up the atmosphere? What the hell is there to soak up? You must be really into this occult stuff if you get off on being in a place like this. Wait, you mean being somewhere like this doesn't get your blood pumping? No way. No, don't turn this around on me. I'm not the weird one here. Cripes. Fine, let's get this over with. Aye aye, boss. So let's look at the surroundings. Maybe he has something different to say? Okay, so Irio's talking. No thoughts but Tatsumi. Or whatever his name is. The former Yasuda Gardens here in Yokoami Ichome. Sound this out real slow. Yokoami Ichome were originally built as part of a daimyo's estate back in the Edo period. Is this loud? I don't feel like this is loud. The park became city property a number of years ago and underwent extensive renovations. There's not a soul around at this time of night. Quiet doesn't even begin to describe it. The pond. They say it used to flow into the Sumida River. Yes, we do know that. The river became so polluted that they cut it off. Okay. Scene. This is where the victim was found. It's clean now. It almost feels like nothing happened here at all. But once an incident like this has come to pass, there's no going back. Not that knowing that is any consolation. I've got a bad feeling about this case, and my gut is really wrong. I knew this would be a treacherous case from the moment we were dragged into it. So they didn't even ask to be a part of it. I guess it'd kind of be weird to be a part of a case where well, is it though? That your partner died? But then, maybe that's like the best person to do it? I don't know. Jun Irio, a detective in the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. His rank is Sergeant. This is his first time leading a case. It's like he's graduated from rookie to newbie. He looks put together on the outside, but acts like a kid most of the time. Honestly, the force could use more people like him. Oh, okay. Okay. About Tsutsumi. But either way, I'm so glad you're back in the 1st Division, boss. I've always admired your work. You were like a god to me. Alright, relax at the glazing, bruh. You're the whole reason I became a detective in the first place. Yeah, about that. People have been saying that ever since you first entered the academy, but... Yes, that's because it's true. I couldn't believe you got transferred out of the 1st just as I got assigned to it. But getting to work in a case like this now, just the two of us, is a dream come true. Ah, ah, that's the way it's making like the big ass laughs. Happy as I am to hear that, well, how should I put it? What is it? If that's true, I'm not sure you've been showing me the appropriate amount of respect. Huh? But I do respect you. Don't tell me you're going senile, boss. Yeah, see that little smart line right there? That's not it, bruh. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When you run your mouth like that. It's getting late. You must be sleepy. Come on. Let's go to bed. Come on. Don't worry, old man. Let's go. Don't worry, boss. I'll make sure we get out of here soon. Okay, just gonna ignore him. Okay. Oh wait, no, we have more things to talk about. About the case. Or should we continue the same line? What the Just continue, man. I've been wowed by your shrewd detective abilities all day today. Oh really? Funny. I've been wowed by you too. Okay, whatever. Same thing. He hasn't thought of anything different. Okay. So, early in the morning yesterday, a staff member found the victim collapsed here in the park and called the police when they realized he was dead. How is he dead? He's dead kind of like how the canal curse works? Or maybe he just had a heart attack. He's clutching his chest. Look at that chain. That's a beautifully drawn chain. Wow. And the mouth and the teeth look really cool too. While there were no obvious external wounds, the fact that he was a police officer and the evidence of a struggle means it's likely that this was a murder. The Sumida office sent it over to us since it involved the death of an officer and we were tasked with the investigation. What we need to do is figure out what happened and whether there was foul play involved. I think that sums about everything up. Okay, bro. I can't read today. Okay. The victim is Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division of the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau, 27 years old, single. So Juvenile Division, so we dealt with like bad kids? Troubled kids? He mostly dealt with cases involving juveniles and education. His rank was senior police officer. You knew him well, didn't you? What was he like? He's one of them earnest guys, huh? Yes, we were in the academy together. We still went out for drinks together every month or two. He could be a little rowdy, but he was like a big brother to us all. He was kind and cared about his friends. One of them ones like, guys, go to school. Don't do I straightened the path myself, and I brightened it up, and now I'm a helper for the children. I'm a police officer. Type shit. For better or worse, he wasn't the uptight type. Okay, he wasn't the uptight type of cop. The man always showed empathy, and I heard he was popular with the locals for it. So you look like he don't play. You look like he don't play. He treated each and every troubled kid he met with compassion. He had a great track record when it came to rehabilitation. Sounds like we lost a good one. Yes, we did. We truly did. That sucks. I knew being a cop was dangerous. I knew something like this could happen, but it's never easy when it happens for real. I know the feeling. He didn't seem to care much about climbing the ranks, but he was on the top of our class. Only problem was that he took on so much. He had the most unfinished paperwork too. I always felt we'd need an unusual guy like him to help us solve all our unusual cases. See? He was once a rebellious gang member himself. Turned his life around and this experience led him to better connect with the troubled youth. While his appearance and demeanor suggested a man who was rough around the edges, he was a passionate, loyal, and caring man at heart, looked up to as a big brother by his peers. His consistently sloppy paperwork and less than formal attitude essentially doomed his career and had him writing formal apologies on the regular. He left behind a fiancée whom he had been dating since high school. Don't worry, you're plenty unusual yourself. Me? I was the most normal of my classmates. Besides, the real weirdo among us quit the academy a long time ago. The pouting face is so buddy. It's very nicely drawn. It's a good mixture of like kinda realistic art with the cartoon anime look. There was one even weirder than you? Nah, continue with that, bro. Now I want to hear about this weirdo because he left. Okay. Is this case really important enough to assign to someone from the investigation division? I mean, a friend of mine died, so it's important to me, but it's all up to the higher ups. I'm sure they've got their reasons. Boss, you know something, don't you? The law will be clear in time. Try not to worry about it too much. Thinking about it. The only thing we know for sure is the identity of the victim. That means there must have been something special about him, right? No comment. Maybe he knew something he wasn't supposed to. Some kind of secret or something. Isn't that right? You're pretty sharp sometimes, you know that? If you picked up on that, you should be able to put the rest together yourself. Is he leading him on? What is he talking about? Hajime was quite the bad boy in school, apparently. He ended up with the police a lot. He said the officer in charge was good to him. Helped him get back on track. Excuse my tone, bro. Just whatever. The reason he wanted to become a cop was to pay his kindness forward. Said it was the first time he ever took his study serious. Okay, bro. That's a good story. Love that kind of thing. Makes me want to have a drink in his honor. Please don't make fun of my dead friend. Whoa! I think he's being genuine. That's not something... What? Hey, I said in his honor. You should aspire to become the kind of cop people miss when they die in the field. You say that like it's the sure thing I'll die. Besides, if I end up biting it, I'm sure you'll be the one who misses me the most, boss. Come on, don't be like that. You'll hurt morale. Well, I guess how much I miss you depends on how this investigation goes. I can already see it. Eddie-o! No! Why'd you have to go and get yourself killed? I have no idea what's going on in the head of yours. Yeah, that'll be a sight to see. I can't wait. Buddy, this guy's gonna have like the worst, most gruesome death ever. You can't wait for your own death? Get it together, kid. Jeez, you really are something. Thank you? As for the cause of death, we don't know until the autopsy is done. Oh, okay, bro. So what are we really going over here in the middle of the night in this forest, bro? Can we go home? From what we've seen, though, it appeared to be some kind of acute heart failure. But since he had no record of chronic illness and had no visible wounds, it's possible that poison or drugs could have been involved. Dying in the middle of the park like that, it certainly seems suspicious. We found signs of a struggle at the scene, as well as footprints belonging to an unidentified individual. We've got people trying to identify those prints. If we can find who they belong to, we might be able to figure this whole thing out. Yes, wouldn't that be nice if that were the end of it? The only things Hajime had on him were his badge and his wallet in his pockets, so we can rule out a mugging. Though, there probably weren't many people who'd think to try mugging a cop as big as him. I've also heard that Hajime got into a fair few fights in his younger days. Might even be getting them other gangs mad because they have no one to groom into their gang at a young age because he's all rehabilitating the youngings. Like, bro, you're messing up our proxy. You know? We have no one to use. He started judo once he became an officer and rose up the ranks quickly. Okay. Sounds like the perp would have had to have been pretty strong to take on Hajime. Why did about the occult just pop up? Time of death was around 11 p.m., so nighttime, 2 days ago. Outside of the park's operating hours, of course. His body was found early in the morning yesterday. 11 p.m. the day before yesterday. What was he doing out here at that time in the first place? That's the question. The entrance to the park is closed after hours, but it's a small gate that'd be fairly easy for him to get through if he really wanted to. That would, of course, be breaking and entering, but what do you think? He came here to hide something? Someone called him here. Why would he came here to hide something come up? Just because it's so weird, I want to press it. Maybe he came here under the cover of night to hide something? I don't know. Why go through all the trouble just to hide something? To be perfectly honest, I think you're going the wrong direction entirely. You think? Since it seems like there was another person here at the time of Hajime's death, wouldn't it be more likely that the other person called him here? Yeah, let's go with that. Then why was that even an option, bro? You guys trying to make me look like an idiot? Damn. Maybe they're trying to make me, Meta, the player, look like an idiot. So that Idio's like, Tetsumi, you're acting weird. Like, are you possessed by something? You know? Whatever I am. They must have been talking about something pretty sensitive to come here in the middle of the night. So Hajime met someone here to discuss something in secret. And then they got into a fight? No scuffle. Would have matched the cause of death. The perp must have planned something. And you think it was meditated? That would mean they called Hajime to the park with the intent to kill him. Well, there is still the possibility that it was just some kind of accident. Maybe the perp tried to threaten Hajime and things went south from there. We should be able to get a clear picture once we know exactly what killed him. Right. What about the victim's family? The Yoshimi family is from Kitasenju in Adachi City, but Hajime's parents died a long time ago. He lived there all alone, no siblings or anything. I went to his house a few times for drinks. I was surprised. It's this huge, old-looking place. That's super sad. To me, in an empty house all by yourself, like a big empty house all by yourself. Your parents dead. Like, you know, the kind of place that seems super haunted. And he lived there alone. It looked like the home of an old, noble family. It was hard to imagine him being such a delinquent living in a house like that. Well, he has no one to talk to. He has no inner circle, really. There's that bias I was talking about. If he's from an old family, I'm sure things were complicated. Yeah, generational wealth type shit. So where's your generational family to support you? They don't like your mom or your dad? That's a bias too. Everything is biased. That's true as well. He never talked about any of that, even when we were drunk, so I don't know much about it. Oh, one more thing. Yeah? Hajime was engaged. Yes, we know this. He'd been seeing his fiancée ever since they were in high school. Over 10 years. They just started talking about getting married. What was her name again? She showed me a picture when she was a beautiful woman. That's how terrible for her. But she may know if there'd been anything going on with him lately. We should speak to her. Yeah, his fiancée may have been his only confidant. True. I'm sure someone at the Sumida Police Department has already contacted her. I'll look into it tomorrow. Sad. Wrong button. Hey boss? I'll look into the case that Hajime was running. Great. That's the kind of stuff I want to know. What was Hajime working on the day he died? Well, according to his report from the day before, he had 2 cases involving juveniles. The first was the suicide of a high school girl who jumped off a building in Kamezawa last week. Okay. Oh yeah, I did hear about that. The girl's name was Michio Shiraishi. She was a second-year student at Komagata High School. But it seems as though Hajime had contact with her even before this incident. So she'd been troubled for some time. That's the thing. About a month ago, he happened to see her walking around town. She looked upset, so he struck up a conversation with her. He was sure there was something bothering her, but she wouldn't tell him what. Oh, must have been trouble at home. That's what he thought too. It seemed he visited her home and spoke to her parents, but they said there was no problem, so there was nothing else he could do. Yeah. Now she's dead. And it's possible he could have prevented her suicide then. He must have been devastated. And that's why he was looking into this Michio Shiraishi again. He must have thought that something terrible had happened that drove her to end her life. But ultimately, he never reported the findings of his investigation. Wait, what? Okay, so he's been looking at it, but he hasn't reported it yet. I see, and you're thinking that it may have had something to do with his death. Well, we'll have to find out what it is Hajime discovered. Right, let's check with the Sumida Police Department about that tomorrow too. Well, it's our duty to get to the bottom of a suspicious death, especially the one involving an officer. Oh, that's it. Alright, now let's continue. And what was the other case he was working on? This one is also related to Komagata High student. A troublemaker named Hitomi Okuda, and she got the J-pop girl hairstyle that was really popular in that time. What was it, the 80s? 80s-ish, 90s-ish? I think 80s more like. That's so funny. I can't remember the haircut right now. She seems to be the leader of a group of kids who got up to no good. She was pretty bad for a while. Multiple charges of destruction of property, assault, and battery. You name it. Hajime had been working with her for about 6 months, and she was finally starting to open up. Yeah. Then he met the girl the day he died. Oh wait, then he met with the girl the day he died. Well, every school's got its problems. But I'm sure he'd be worried about how she'd get on without him. Right? Just like when she'd finally found an adult she could trust. She might act out without someone to help her get through this. We'll have to make sure the Sumida Community Safety Bureau does their job. But, we can't rule out the possibility that meeting with this delinquent girl had something to do with his death. Then we'll have to interview her too. Yeah, you're right. She may have been the last person to see him alive after all. I'll ask Sumida to introduce us tomorrow. Though, Who knows if they'll actually let us talk with her. Yeah. That's what we hired you for. Lay a little boyish charm on them if they need convincing. Yeah, I'm sure they prefer me over a scary-looking old man like you, boss. Watch it. I'm still your superior. Gotta act like you respect me at least. Oh, I thought I was. You were? Shit, is that how your generation speaks? You really are a new breed. I'm dead. And it's probably just me, actually. Well, don't think you can get away with that with other people. Yeah, so anyways, boss. Were you even listening? Got quite a bit to look into tomorrow. First, the 2 Komagata High School cases that Hajime was handling. And then, we need to speak with his fiancée as well. I believe that's it for tomorrow. So we have notes of what's going on with Hajime. On the topic of family, what's yours like, boss? The hell is wrong with you? Praying to my personal life all of a sudden. It's just, I've never heard you talk about them or anything. Oh, are you single? Shut it, that's none of your business. Well, ever since I joined the force, I've been thinking. The department really pressures young officers to get married. Because you need somewhere to go home to. You need to fight crime for a reason. I wonder why that is. You don't say anything like that, though. How should I know? I caved to the pressure myself and got married 20-some years ago. So you in a bad marriage? You don't like your wife? Or your wife don't like you? Huh? So then... God, you're relentless. She took our daughter and left 4 weeks ago. Thanks for reminding me. Ooh. Devastating. Oh, I'm sorry. Can't believe she'd give up a guy like you. And yo, don't act weird. Don't be fake. The man uses 1 bar of soap to bathe and do everything with himself. Not much going on with this one over here. And raising a daughter, not much going on with this one over here. I was never home much, too focused on work. I'd come home late only to get called right back out again. Plus, being a cop is dangerous work. I don't blame her for getting fed up with all of it. How sad, especially when you're out here putting your life on the line. Oh, is that why you transferred out of the first? It was already too late by then. Ooh, right when you want to do the change, huh? You do it too late, huh? Look at you. You lost your shorty. Too damn bad. Too damn bad. You better be careful, Edio. You know what spiteful broad will come there and take your children. You say that, but there's not much I can do, is there? It's the nature of our job. There aren't many who can really understand it, not unless you're involved with police work themselves or related to someone who is. But, wait, you have a daughter, boss? You really think I want to talk about her after all that? Have some sense. Come on, I promise I won't mean this the way it sounds, but how old is she? Buddy. Jeez, you don't know when to quit, do you? At least try not to look so intrigued. She's a bit rough around the edges. I think most men are intimidated by her. Apple don't fall far from the tree, bro. Last I heard, she's living by herself and going to college. Wow, a college student. Men love an educated lady. What is wrong with this man? Stop that. What kind of cop are you making baseless assumptions like that? She's living on her own though, huh? You must worry about her. Worry? I don't even know where she lives. Oh, so she hasn't told you? Probably because she knows you'd follow her around everywhere. I would not. I don't think. Yes, you would. Come on now. Both know that's not true. Listen here. You may look like a mean old man, but you sure have a soft side. What? That's supposed to be a compliment. I can't keep up with you. We're done talking about this. Anything to think about? Nah, still a bad feeling about this case. Well, that's too damn bad. You're gonna have to go through with it, huh? Oh, that reminds me. If you got married 20 years ago, it must have been right after the Nejima murder. Oh, right about the Nejima murder. You know your history. Yeah, that happened a year or two after our wedding. You were the only one who arrested the killer, weren't you? You studied that case in the academy. It was only elementary school at the time, but I still remember people talking about some dangerous criminal getting arrested. All that was just cracking the case, finding the guy. It was all just happenstance. I'd really rather not think about it. It was a disturbing case. Did it not make your skin crawl when you learned about it in the academy? It did. We were all terrified. Sounds about right. No one could believe that such a mild-mannered man could have committed such a terrible murder. If we had overlooked one little thing, we'd have never caught him at all. I think I remember hearing there was only one charge brought against him in the end. That's right. We didn't have the evidence. I knew there was no way such a meticulously planned crime could have been there first, but we may have stuck Fumichika Nejima in a cell, but it was no victory. He always had the upper hand. And all the damage he did to everyone involved, especially the victim's classmates. It's already been 20 years, huh? God damn it. This is why I try not to think about it. I'm sorry. Nejima Murders Overview. Notorious case from over 2 decades ago involving the murder of a female high school student. It first came to the attention of the authorities when part of a human hand was left discovered in the Sumida River. Testing revealed it to be belonging to a missing high school student. It appeared to be severed deliberately. Then they did a murder investigation. Large-scale search in the river. It was too much stuff. It was also nasty. It wasn't clean. The divers quickly fell ill. They succeeded in recovering only the victim's head and what appeared to be part of her leg before the search was called off. So at the time of the incident, the Sumida River was polluted as it had ever been. Neither fish nor shellfish could survive in it. Over the course of the search, the police discovered a number of unidentified human bones. This caused a stir among the public, as several other young women had gone missing in recent years in the Tokyo area, and it was feared that they may have fallen the same fate. Forensic technologies at the time were not good enough to determine the identities of the deceased. Due to the overwhelming lack of circumstantial evidence, he could only get charged for the one murder. Fumichika Nejima, 36-year-old shop owner with no relation to the victim, divulged details about her that had never been released to the general public. This is what happened during questioning. Testified that he snatched his victim from the street. He lived at his shop and he kept her there. Purple prose about the suffering of the victim. He divulged the details of the murder, but was less willing to explain his motive. When asked, he would only break down in tears, saying, "I don't know what came over me. I know it was wrong." When Nejima was sentenced to life in prison at his first hearing, the sentence was imposed with no appeal from the defendant. Now let's talk about the occult. So all this occult stuff, have you heard about it, boss? What are you talking about? This Rite of Resurrection thing that everyone's talking about. No, not you two. I've been hearing about that shit everywhere. Oh, you have? That's surprising. Who cares what people are talking about? It's nothing to do with our job. But don't you think the occult stuff with this case feels, I don't know, realer somehow? The whole thing started right here in Honjo in Sumida City, so I thought that maybe cut it out. Nothing good can come from getting involved with that rite or whatever. Or that record of fates. So you're the one bringing up record of fates. Erio hadn't even brought that up yet. Sounds like you know all about it. Boss, are you secretly into the occult? Stop that. Seriously, this isn't a joke. I get why you'd be intrigued by something called the rite of resurrection after a buddy of yours died, but bringing the dead back to life, that's the stuff of fantasy. It's not real. So don't go hoping for miracles. Got it? Well, boss, I think that's about does it. Right. Let's call it for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. What the flipping days? Oh god, what is that? Boss, what's wrong? Don't tell me you're going senile. Blood, whatever you do, don't look behind you. Damn it, it was this case. It was, so we know something. It was that case all along. Boss, what is it? Is there something over there? Grah! Such deep sorrow, resentful memories flowing into my mind. Those who deceive, falsehoods and truths hung up forever in eternal darkness. Kill them. Those who spread lies, kill them all. You have acquired the power of the evergreen beech. You can use it to kill those who intentionally try to mislead you. So Tsutsumi was the one that had a curse, and if we as Shogo lied, we would have died. I guess we never lied to him during our conversation. The evergreen beech. Kills by hanging one who tries to mislead the curse bearer with false statements. Okay. The deceived. That's really funny, actually. That the police officer has this curse. I don't know how they'd be killing people in Japan with at their jails, but they have the death penalty still, right? So, yeah, that's crazy. Deceived us with his so-called rite of resurrection. The man who tricked the people with his false dark arts swings from a rope. They thought the man had escaped the previous night, but oddly enough, he was found hanging in the garden of the daimyo's mansion that morning. The man, a local named Jinkichi, was known for his kind temperament and skill in crafting netsuke clasps. While his life wasn't always easy, he was optimistic, the type to smile through whatever life threw at him. He was the kind of man who would take care of those who didn't have anyone else to rely on. Prosperity of the ukiyo-e boom must have been what fanned the flames of his greed. What? Okay. The old craftsman was found in a miserable state, as if sentenced to some cruel fate. Perhaps he'd ended his own life, able to bear the weight of his crime. But dead men tell no tales, and the people thought of him as a bad man even in death. He hung there for days, till his neck stretched horrifically, a visage of pain still etched on his face. It's clear he must have struggled greatly as he died, his flesh marked with dark scars where the rope wrapped around his whole body. Beech tree's leaves do not fall, and neither did the man's body hanging from it, as the mansion's owner was not at home. Another unfortunate event. The people held their tongues, fearing divine punishment, but the rumors persisted nonetheless. I didn't retain any of that in my brain. Now, Gil. Can you hear it, curse bearer? You who so strongly desires the right. Kill them. Hey, at least he has, and he don't really want to do nothing with it. But this is really bad for your job, because you're always going to deal with people who lie to you. You're a police officer. It's time for you to retire. Boss, what's the matter? Don't tell me you really went senile. Sorry, I'm fine. Idio. So everyone passes out. Shogo started the game, passed out, but the right thingy happened when Yoko was already on the floor. I'm so lost. I have some bad news. Oh no, your senility is kicking in, isn't it? No, We've got a bit of trouble on our hands. Looks like we'll be working some overtime. We're not going home tonight. Huh? What are you talking about? But you have to believe me. What I just saw just now? We're continuing this. Right? Makes sense too.